Have you ever wondered what a Marlin 1894 and 44 mag would do to a turkey? True with Guns America, today we're looking at the Marlin 1894 classic chambered in 44 Remington mag. Before we jump into this, Silver, you want to come up here and say hi, huh? Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button. We really appreciate you watching. So let's talk about this Marlin. First of all, I want to say my first rifle that I ever bought with my own money was when I turned 12, and I bought a Marlin golden 39M and 22 long rifle. It was used, and I paid $200 for it at a pawn shop. I still have it. It's still one of my favorite, most prized rifles. This reminds me a lot of that. So let's just jump into this and quickly talk about some of what we've got going on here. This has a 20.25 inch barrel. It is hammer forged. As you know, Marlin got bought by Ruger, and Ruger has some really advanced procedures for barrel making. One of them is their hammer forged barrels, and this has one of those on it. It has a tubular magazine that holds 10 rounds of 44 Magnum or 11 rounds of 44 Special. The front side up here comes with this cover on it. If you don't, I call it a covered wagon cover, but I don't actually know the technical name for it, but it's a sunshade. And underneath you've got a front sight that has a brass bead right on it, so it's perfect for what you're doing here. The rear side is a semi buckhorn, and it's adjustable for windage. You can drift it for elevation, and the front side here has serrations for reducing sun glare. It's blued, it's gorgeous. The action, the lever, all this stuff is CNC machined. The stock itself is American black walnut, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got this fine checkering here, and out here on the back here we actually have a rubber butt pad, which I like. It's got a little bit of absorption, but it's mostly because it doesn't like fall over in your pickup. It actually grips a floor if you stand it up in the corner. All that. Up here on the barrel band we've got a sling stud. We also have one back here, and then right in front of this one you can see this little red bullseye here. That is what is going to tell you whether this was a Marlin that was made by Ruger. That's what Ruger is putting on all the Marlins that they're making. So that's kind of the story there. Now the other thing here that I want to point out is you can mount a scope on this should you want to. The purists in you are not going to want to. There's a loading gate here. That's the only way you load this, but it does have a crossbolt safety. Now some of the purists are like, what's that about? You don't have to use it. You can just leave it off. The hammer still has a half cock position, so you could use that if you don't want to use the safety. I'm sure somebody will make a delete kit for it at some point. But here's the deal. In order to unload this, the only way to unload it is to actually rack the lever and rack all these rounds into the chamber and out of the chamber. So it's not a bad idea to have the option of having a safety when you're doing that. So I don't think it's horrible. My only criticism or complaint about this is that I don't actually like the trigger that much. I think it feels a little bit heavy, a little bit gritty, a little bit of creep, which I really don't love to feel. It's not bad. It's just like everything else about this rifle is so perfect that would be my only criticism. Now, being an attorney, I get a free pass to criticize attorneys, and you know darn well that it's those attorneys back there at Ruger that are telling them to make the trigger the way it is. I'm sure a good gunsmith could have this thing polished up, tuned up, and it would be absolutely amazing. But look, this thing is light. It only weighs 6.4 pounds. Its overall length is 37 3/4 inches, so it's really short, it's really handy, it throws up amazingly well, it points super naturally, so much more than so many of the rifles now with optics. I mean, literally, I feel like I could shoot clay pigeons with this thing. It points so naturally and so quickly. We're going to do some drills on the range, like some home defense drills, maybe some bear drills, like where we're shooting at 3 yards, and we're just going to use the shot timer and see if what we can put 3 rounds of 44 mag on a target in. We're just going to check that out. Also, please make sure you wait till the end. We got a surprise for you at the end. We're going to test some bullets. Today the ammo came from Remington and Hornady, so a huge special thank you to them. We'll tell you what those are when we're shooting them and kind of show you how that stuff runs. But that's the specs and the story on the Marlin 1894 44 Remington mag in the Classic. Once again, this is the Classic, no threaded barrel. You're not going to put a brake or a suppressor suppressor on this. It's the sort of, for those of you that like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and Westerns, I mean, this is the gun. But guys, don't kid yourself. This thing packs some punch. You can run it super, super, super fast. It's really smooth. And, you know, it's a sleeper. It's a sleeper for a home defense gun. It's a sleeper for protecting camp or your cabin or your homestead. I would definitely pack this thing around. Up first, we're going to do a quick drill where we're going to shoot 3 rounds at 3 yards, and we're going to time it. I have a pack timer here. It's set on delay. So that's the first drill we're going to see. Simulating something like a charging animal, a self-defense situation, something like that. So the ammo that we're shooting right now, this first drill, is going to be the Hornady Lever Revolution. If you don't know about this stuff, it's got a special polymer tip in it that will not detonate the primer in front of it in a tubular magazine. So this is a 225 grain FTX, and it's going 1,410 feet per second. All right, 3 shots. That was 1.74 seconds. First shot was 0.53. 3 yards, we're all in the A zone. The 44 mag, 1.74. So let's step back to 10 yards. We're going to try some Remington ammo that's a little hotter, I believe, and do the same thing. All right, up next is the Remington HTP. It's the high terminal performance. It's a jacketed soft point. It's a 240 grain bullet going 1,180 feet per second. Okay, that time was 2.64, so a little bit slower at 10 yards. It looks like all 3 of them are in the A zone down there though. Gun's pretty easy to run quickly. Last target we're going to shoot today is at 25 yards across the range here. I'm going to be shooting the Hornady Critical Defense. This is a 44 special load, and these are 165 grain FTX going 900 feet per second. So kind of a much milder load, softer load. It's got that special polymer filling in this hollow point so it doesn't fill up with clothes and then not expand in a self-defense situation. So we're going to do our little drill right here with that. Okay, that was like nothing. That was 2.46 at 25 yards. All right, so this is the last ones we just shot at 25 yards. I probably just rushed the shots because there was a 0 recoil. I mean, that was like a 22. So we got 1A in the A and 2 right here in the C zone. Guys, still solid hits on a big animal attacking or a human. Obviously, this is the Remington, all 3 hits, and this is the first hot Hornady stuff we shot, all in the A zone. And that was our fastest one, but that was only at 3 yards. So very manageable with some time on this gun and some practice. There's no doubt that, you know, you could get really, really fast at working the lever on this. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's relatively smooth. You could get fancy with it if you want to. You know, it really just depends on how you want to run the gun. But I mean, you could sit down here and run it down here like this at close range. But I actually think it throws up so nice that it's great. And then once again, iron sights, no red dots, no optics, no muzzle brakes. This is just an old cowboy gun. We're going to shoot some turkeys now with this 44 mag. We're, I don't know, 5 yards away. And we're going to check and see here kind of how this ammo performs on a turkey. Now, I do want to tell you guys getting ready for Thanksgiving that no turkeys were harmed in the filming of this video. And for you vegans that are worried about us eating these turkeys, we're not going to eat these turkeys after we get done shooting them. So there's that. All right, up first, we're going to shoot the Hornady 44 Special, the 165 grain FTX. The second turkey will be the 44 225 grain FTX from Hornady, and the last one will be the 240 grain, the heaviest load from Remington, going 1180. So this is the Critical Defense up first. Woo. And wow. I don't know what you guys could see, but if I was going to shoot somebody, I would not shoot them with that little light stuff. I would go with the heavier stuff. Honestly, the recoil is so mild on all of them that there's not really any good reason not to shoot heavier ammo out of this. I mean, it's nothing. Let's go check this out and see what happened to the turkeys. So we've got a good entrance hole here, And actually, this turkey actually still exited. So even that 44 special hole exited. But if you look here, this is the lever revolution, the 225 grain. That hole is ginormous. I don't even want to touch that. That's nasty. But let me just do it. Here we go. It just tore that turkey to pieces. Oh my gosh! Look at that. That's one shot. Okay, so this was the Remington, and I saw the most come out of the back of this one, like splatter out onto the back of the hill. So this is a heavy turkey. So there's your entrance right there. That's your entrance hole. This is your exit. I mean, look at that. You could stick your fist in that. And I mean, look how thick these are. These are like not human thickness, but we're talking about there's bone, muscle, fiber, fluid. This is as close as we're gonna get to shooting through somebody's rib cage and into like their lungs or something. I mean, that's what you could expect as an exit hole in a self-defense situation. That is nasty. All right, final impressions after having done some run and gun, plinked with the gun a bunch, shot some groups, done some drills. It's a winner, okay? You can't go wrong with this gun. It's lightweight, it's easy to handle, it's easy to shoot. The recoil is very mild, even with the heavier loads. Granted, this wasn't buffalo bore stuff. It's not gonna make that much difference. As far as accuracy goes, this Hornady critical defense, the light stuff that had zero recoil, like a 22, I kid you not, shot the tightest group out of everything I shot today. It's just like right there. The Lever Revolution shot at an okay group. I was having some issues while I shot this gun though. I had two cases that would not extract. I had to get a cleaning rod and knock them out. I don't know if the ammo was too hot or if there's something in the chamber that needs cleaned out, but spirit of full disclosure, I had two issues with the malfunction, meaning the empty shell would not come out of the gun. Bad situation if you're in a gunfight. It's a good reason to make sure you test your gun and your ammo. The Remington, I had no issues with this at all. It's shooting heavy. You can feel a slight bit more recoil from the heavier bullet. Shot a great group. And for some reason, it's easier to load through this gate than the Hornady Lever Revolution. I don't know why. It's not that much longer, but for some reason, some angle in there, it's easier to slide in. That's the story. I'd buy it. I think it's a great gun. I love it. Price is right, made by the right company, shoots good. Stand by for the end. We appreciate you guys watching. See you next time here at Guns America.